Today's Wednesday, November 16th, 2016, and you're tuned into the Elevator Radio Show. Hey, everybody, got a good show for you today, so stay tuned. Here it comes.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listen, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. As always, thank you for joining us today on the Elevator Radio Show. This is a weekly podcast where I spew and throw out information that I find online relating to elevators, escalators, moving walkways. And as of late, and actually probably for the majority of the part, they kind of revolve around accidents and lawsuits. And man, it was like the first day, I think, in a really long time when I started looking online for content that I'm like, oh man, I just feel like it's the same old stuff each week, you know what I mean? Where there's a lawsuit regarding an escalator, blah, blah, blah. And, we've been doing this for going on 11 years now. And I think it's time to switch things up a bit, because to be honest with you, I feel as if that maybe I am basically just regurgitating the same crap that, that lacks any kind of substance to where it needs to lack substance. And I'm going to be doing some soul search in the next few weeks and to see if I can't find a better way of putting the show on and bringing some actual good information and value to all of you listeners and watchers out there. And because I greatly appreciate that. But yeah, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, oh man, another alleged accident, another thing. I'm like, it's the same thing, And again, it would be different if there was some more information that we could share and learn from, but the reality is that typically there's not. So anyway, I hope everybody had a great week last week. Obviously, you either did or you didn't, depending on who your candidate was for the presidential election. I know that when I woke up Wednesday morning, I was a bit shocked and surprised at who the United States had selected as next president and vice president, which it is what it is. And all I can say out there, and this is my public service announcement to anybody out there that is so angry about who won. Please don't be angry. Please, please, please. And I'm going to share a story. I had a good friend of mine literally go off the deep end during 2 elections ago, to the point where I don't know. I think the time that he spends online is literally just spent bashing the person he did not vote for. And, that's just not healthy. Let's put this in perspective. It's the president of the United States. Obviously, he does have power in directing, Congress. But at the end of the day, he's just a guy. He's going to be in there for maybe 8 years, whatever. And ultimately, it's probably not going to affect you or me a whole lot. And I'm not going to let any political election drive me to the point where I would like to, scream, protest, burn things, or anything. Because I went through that back in 92, I think, 93, maybe 92, 93. And I felt those same feelings, and I told myself never again was I going to do that. Guess what? The candidate that I had voted for didn't win back then. And I thought it was the end of the world. And lo and behold, it was not the end of the world. And the elected president did a fine job. It was totally okay. So that is my advice to you. That is my advice for you to give to your family members and friends. And because it's ugly out there. It is just ugly out there. I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon, but it is not worth it. None of it is worth it to the point where we're going to lose or have a heart attack over. Okay, that's my public service announcement. On a lighter side, I had a great weekend. Did something I don't typically do. Headed up to the north woods of Wisconsin with two of my boys and my dad. Had a great time up there, splitting wood, getting ready for Thanksgiving. The kids were up in the woods building forts. Got to do some off-road jeeping around. Just had a great time. It was only 2 days, and didn't get a chance to wish, everybody out there who's a veteran, happy Veterans Day. Thank you for serving. Thank you for your support, and especially to my dad, who is also a veteran, the Marine Corps. So thank you, Dad, for your service to our country, and had a great time with you this week. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving, which is going to be next week. Typically, I don't have a show the Wednesday before the podcast. I may not have one next week. Depends on what kind of content is online. I'm usually headed up, somewhere else. But this year I'm actually hanging back and leaving on Thursday. So burglars go and rob my house if you want. Don't have a whole lot of valuables there. Just don't take my bicycle. Anyway, so if any of you are traveling this week and don't, pick the show up next week, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. This is my favorite season. Has no commercial ties whatsoever to it. I give out turkeys to all of my team members here at work. I figure that's a nice way of thanking them and contributing to their Thanksgiving. And it's just a small token of my appreciation for everything that they do, as old of a tradition that may have been in days past. Just love it. Love it. The day that some entity turns Thanksgiving into some kind of commercial venture other than, mashed potatoes, stuffing, turkey, food is the day I will really be upset, because I saw Christmas stuff in October when I walked into Home Depot, and when they asked me, can we help you? I said, yeah, you can help by taking all that Christmas crap down. Okay, I'm done. All right, we got a good show for you today. And I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you next week, okay? Enjoy it, as stressful as it may or may not be for you. And just remember that at the end of the day, it's about friends, family, and being thankful for what we have, which most of us have a lot. So be thankful for that. Okay, let's get into the news content of the show, and we'll have you out of here in no time. If we don't do the prize pack giveaway next week, we will do it the following week when we come back that first week in December. And before you know it, the end of the year will be here. So up next, the news.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
All right, first news article of the show was like hot off the presses. This actually was released about 7 hours ago. An accident involving a man in Toronto where he was killed at the One King West Hotel residence in Toronto. This CTV News Toronto reporting this story. As of now, the most recent information I have regarding the person that was killed, tragic accident, was a hotel worker. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me. But it was not a mechanic and was not a passenger. So, terrible news. I'm sure we'll learn more about that as the days unfold and whatnot. Canada is really good at their investigative reporting. It's much different than the United States. Not to say the United States has got anything wrong with what they do or how they do it, but it's just a little different when you get an ocean involved and stuff. The information doesn't get out there the way it probably should. Okay, auburnpub.com, the Citizen News is reporting out of Order Cayuga County Courthouse elevator needs repair. And I hate these survey questions. Do they actually realize that this has nothing to do with anything? Are you a comics fan? Okay. Anyway, you can read about this. Don't do the survey because it's somewhat demeaning to have to do anything like that, especially in the world of free content and whatnot. So I'm sure it's old. It's a good way of summing up probably the story that's there. Okay, this next one, I didn't really even want to link or actual write the news title the way it is in this article. So when you're looking at the post notes and you're like, what? Because I don't want to give them any more credit or any kind of link love than they really deserve. Legal Intelligencer has an article talking about law firm worker can sue elevator company office building over injury. Yeah, surprise, surprise. You actually had to figure that out, lawyers? Okay. Makes me realize that you are not as smart as actually, I wasn't giving you a whole lot of credit for being smart, but this is seems like a dumb title to this article. Terrible tragedy in China where a toddler was killed after falling over the side of an escalator. Apparently, her mom or an elderly woman was losing her grip on the grandchild as he tilted over the escalator's handrail, struggling to regain her balance. Oh man, I'm telling you, this is terrible. It's awful. There was another article that was an accident that occurred similar to this, but this is terrible. And there's video of this too, which makes it even worse. So, as a reminder, it's important that we take steps to ensure things like this don't happen. The Mirror UK had an actual article warning parents regarding this, and as always, make sure you are doing your best to practice safety. And when you see stuff like this, to ensure that somebody is understood or told that, hey, that's not safe to do. So let's use common sense here. Maybe we need a common sense lesson, maybe a common sense blog for people that may not understand what common sense is. I don't know. Here's another one. Don't ride escalators in Malaysia. Apparently 800 of them were found or deemed unsafe. Good news. Take a look at some of the photos in this because it's a little scary and it's loading up very slowly. I'll let everybody do that in their own time. So yeah, I'm not going to Malaysia. If I am, I'm not riding on an elevator or an escalator. That's all I can say. And unfortunately, if you see equipment like this, there's a good chance that other equipment in the public service sector is probably running very similar to that, which is unfortunate. Next news article, citizensvoice.com. Elevator inspection firm seeks to join lawsuit over prison incident. And this is my the title to the link on today's show notes is if you can't beat them, join them. And oh man, I hate attorneys. I mean, I don't hate them. I'm so sorry. I don't want to go on record as saying that. I guess I've already done that. But man, yeah, not so good here. But apparently the elevator inspection company filed in court Monday to join the effort for emergency relief. To go after the elevator company. This is just a game of chess to some extent, or pawns. And the reality is it's a tragic accident, obviously, involving the actions of two individuals who are fighting. So at what point should their safety be completely deemed the responsibility of everybody else in the world after they obviously went out of their way to fight each other? I mean, you know what I mean? I just, attorneys. Drives me absolutely beep. Crazy. But attorneys, that's what they do. They make money. So yeah, I don't think it's getting any better either, to be honest with you. I wish it were, but it's not. I wish it were. Okay, every single ad seems to be loading up on this page, which is killing my ability to go. There we go. Okay, so yeah. Okay, next news article, NASA educational opportunities. It looks like they've taken a couple weeks off, which is probably much well-deserved and well-earned. But if you are in need of continuing education credits, there's a Florida Code Update Seminar. There's webinars coming up, Florida Code Update Seminars. Their board meeting is going to be in Phoenix, February 11th through the 13th, and then they've got all their other stuff going on March and April. So if you are in need of any kind of educational credits for QEI, please make sure you're checking them out because it's a good opportunity, good place to get those for QEI. Okay, in India, a man falls into elevator duct and dies. Not 100% sure what a duct is necessarily that relates to an elevator, but apparently an 87-year-old man died after falling into one. And again, maybe it's just a translation issue, but let's see here. Press the elevator's line. Okay, yeah, there's no elevator. It was the elevator shaft way, I guess I should say. This is, yeah. I didn't read it. Anyway, called the elevator, stepped into the shaft, nothing was there, and boom. And I can understand things like that happening, but yeah, a little scary and something that most likely should have been preventable, I should say. And again, a little scary. Next news article. Oh, hey, you know what? I should have mentioned this earlier. It is Elevator Escalator Safety Week. I didn't know if you knew that or not. But the Oakland County 115 News has a nice article from Lansing, Michigan, talking about Governor Rick Snyder declaring November 13th to the 19th as Elevator Escalator Safety Awareness Week to educate the public on how to ride safely when using elevators, escalators, moving walkways. And this is good information, obviously, to have. You can check it out. Link is in the show notes. And it's nice to see that the comments are closed, because typically what you find is a bunch of nutballs out there that just have too much time on their hands and are angry and bitter. So yeah, so do your part to practice Elevator Escalator Safety Week, and it's usually a calm week, as many governors are proclaiming, this week as Safety Week for our devices, those that we work on. So, which is good. Okay, workers strike at UCLA. Wasn't aware that they could strike on their own without, general union support or whatever. And again, I'm not 100% sure I understand this, but...
Excuse me?
Oh, boy. Anyway, local 2010 at UCLA, the Teamsters represents electricians, plumbers, carpenters, service engineers, elevator mechanics, and others at UCLA are advising the public to avoid the Westwood campus November 16th. I wasn't sure that UCLA actually had on-site mechanics. I wasn't aware of that. So, yeah, but it just seems interesting that the one local would strike as opposed to all of them. So I have a feeling that probably the mechanics are, unless they're part of a different, union. Maybe that's not the elevator union. Maybe it's the electrical or something like that. I don't know. I know in New York City that's kind of how it works. There's electrical and elevator, and they're kind of, overlap a little bit. So, anyway. Courthouse closed after elevator trouble. WSIL, ABC, Channel 3 News, Pulaski County Courthouse closed after elevator trouble. I'm not going to trying to get off this page quickly before something blares in everybody's ears. Let everybody read that on your own. Next news article. This is important because it involves elevator safety. Remember that the safest place for you, if ever stalled or stuck or in an elevator that the doors don't open, is to just simply stay there, no matter what. Even if you've got somebody trying to get you out or opening the doors or saying, "Here, I'll help you." Remember that most accidents from elevator evacuations occur when the elevator's above the floor, there's an opening underneath the elevator, and somebody gets out of the elevator, jumps down onto the floor, and then falls into the opening in the shaft, which is terrifying. But remember to stay there. Don't try to be a hero, and wait for either fire department or elevator mechanic to come and can assist you. And elevator shaft is a dangerous place for firefighters as well, especially if they are not sure what's going on, or lockout tagout procedures have not been taken into account. So that's it. So yeah, hey, this Thanksgiving, spread the news about elevator and escalator safety to those that you are with. And when they say, that's common sense, well, then share some of these stories that we talked about on the show over the years, because there are quite a few of them. This is a cool article, and you got to kind of drill into the news link. This is Blue Loop, terrible name for a website. Talking about dynamic attractions create escalator dark ride at IAAPA 2016. I have no idea what this is, but it's pretty slick. They've created kind of an anime box type story on the side of the escalators as you ride up the escalator, which I think is cool. Maybe this is what we have to do instead of, and it's probably violating some kind of code for distraction. I guarantee that's the case. But at the end of the day, it's kind of neat to see these. So play the video and check it out. It's really cool. So as you go up, there's these little tiny boxes, shadow boxes with kind of creative scenes in them. So I don't know what they're advertising, but it's kind of cool. Yeah, so check it out. Link is in the show notes. So click on the YouTube video and you can see it. Oh, I can't even click on it. Okay, anyway. Lawsuit filed in New Jersey claiming escalator mangled baby's hand, which, if this is true, if it's not alleged or whatever, it's terrible. But apparently the mother has filed suit against the makers. Oh, MB Bank. Yeah, F you. Sorry. Mangled while on moving stairs at the Westfield Garden State Plaza Mall. And this is a good reason why you should have cameras. And I hope there was a camera on this escalator, because I cannot imagine a baby's hand being caught underneath an escalator unless the mother wasn't paying attention and the baby basically, was playing around the escalator handrail where it went into the balustrade. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of not good. Obviously, you don't want to see these kinds of accidents happening. But at the end of the day, man, get a video on that thing and, let the attorneys go to town and rip the mom apart, because she may or may not have been, watching her kid as kids walking around a mall. You know what I mean? So shouldn't let your kid walk anywhere. You never know where danger could be lurking, Anyway, okay, Penn Station escalator broken again, and for some reason, the BaltimoreBrew.com and this article, this person that wrote this article is concerned about safety because the escalator is broken again. So for citizen and resident Scott Klinger, the situation is not just an inconvenience, but a safety hazard. I take the Evening Express trains from D.C., and it takes more than 10 minutes for people to disembark off the train and up a single flight of stairs. Yeah, that's a problem. But at the end of the day, escalators are not a safety device. If they are, or if building code or transit code or any kind of code changes that, then I think we have something to be worried about, because, they are convenience. They are convenience in terms of moving people up and down. So yeah, you might think it's a safety hazard, and obviously you don't want people getting so backed up they're literally getting pushed back onto the train tracks. But at the end of the day, it's escalators are not supposed to be used for an emergency. Okay, they're not stairs. Use the stairs in an emergency. That's all I can tell you. So anyway, yeah, they're a little off point on this one. I don't even know if there's any comments. Oh, they're 10. Okay, let's see what 10. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, love the comments. Love all the haters. Yeah, why did it take 9 weeks to fix it the first time? Maybe it's not something you can fix the next day, but escalators are pretty common technology. Sure, yeah, Mr. Canton, who's the J.F. Canton, who's the expert on escalators. Why does anybody even take the time to respond to something like this? Really? Man, sometimes I just hate the internet and what's posted on it. I really do. I'm so tired of it. Oh my God. Excuse me. All right. I'm tired. I am tired, and I'm tired of it. So anyway, well, that's the last link of the show, everybody. So we are having fun. That's all that matters, right? At 2 o'clock in the morning, it's actually 5, almost 6 o'clock, but still early. Why is there a line down the screen of my capture? I have no idea. That doesn't look good, does it? No. Anyway, if you're watching the video, I've got some big white line on the video. I won't worry about it. Anyway, well, that's going to do it for the show, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of the week. And if you are in areas like Chicago where we have awesome weather, enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can, because before you know it, it is going to be snowing, cold, and brutal. So, and it's not going to get warm until second week in June. So enjoy it while you can. Take vacations while you can, and try not to stress out about the candidates. Our new president-elect, it's not worth it, because it really isn't worth it. I'm telling you. And if you want to send me some hate email or post on my Facebook page, I don't know what I'm talking about, don't. I'm going to unfollow you. I'm going to block you. I'm going to kick you off the page. That's because I don't need it. I don't want to hear it. All right. I think that's it. All right. Be safe out there, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.